everybody, Earl at thelogbook.com. Darth Vader, that's the whole show. Thank you for watching. No, just kidding. You remember our good friend, the Dark Lord of the Sith, who we recently, well, I say recently, it's been a while now in YouTube time, gave him a new lightsaber, which was a 3D printed double telescoping lightsaber that you can get from Etsy. And that makes him whole again because he has his saber, he has his cape, he has his original vinyl cape. But even though some of my other lightsaber wielding vintage figures were rearmed, they are not complete again. And you have to forgive me, the princess needs a little bit of help standing up. These figures are all in excess of 40 years old. And it turns out that just like you can rearm your classic Star Wars figures, you can also redress them. I have here a package from Echo Base Vintage on Etsy, and really kind of a funny story there. I found them on Etsy because I looked for replacement vinyl capes for vintage Star Wars figures. And found Echo Base Vintage. They had good reviews. They also do carry some legit vintage Kenner figures in full. So it's not just stuff that they have made themselves. Yeah, they are full service if you are jonesing for some Kenner Star Wars. But I went there looking for replacement capes for some of these guys. Not because I am looking at flipping anybody. That's going to happen after I'm gone. But I was looking at replacing some capes for my friends who came with them originally and lost them. So we have here in a couple of rolls of bubble wrap. The envelope, please. Now, nice as business cards go. I like it. I like it a lot. The really funny thing that I discovered in the course of doing business with Echo Base Vintage, I got my goodies really fast. And do you know why? It's because they're just up the highway in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I felt I felt a little bit sheepish about that one. I was like, oh, wait. I could have caught a ride up there. They could have delivered to my door. Well, maybe not really, but still, it's just kind of funny. So I have some new capes here, new capes for old friends, and so I'm glad that Darth Vader still has his original cape because that provides me with a guide to go by. Texture-wise, this is interesting. They're not exactly the same. So, if you're worried that someone's going to put replacement capes on a vintage figure and pass it off as the original, you can tell from the texture. You can definitely tell from the texture. I believe this is Leia's. This one is Obi-Wan's. I got quite a few here. This one I believe belongs to Lando. Oh, I don't have Lando here, but I will get him, and I believe this one is for the Tusken Raider. And I also got one for my snowtrooper from The Empire Strikes Back. He has kind of a skirt that clips on. The texture is very different. It's more of a marbled texture versus the smooth vinyl that your vintage Kenner figures had. And that being said, let us get Princess Leia's cape ready for her. Going to kind of do it the way that Vader's is here and do a little bit of folding down. Still plenty delicate. I remember, I think what happened to my capes is that from repeatedly putting them on, taking them off again, they tore, because I remember a lot of them were repaired with Scotch tape. And it just got to the point where it was, they were quite ugly. And wow. Speaking of ugly, this is a stark contrast. No, I'm not bagging on the product. The replacement cape is fantastic. This shows you how much my parents smoked in the house where I grew up. Princess Leia is pretty much yellow. And that's not the yellow of aging plastic. That is growing up with a couple of people who smoke like burning buildings around you. I wonder if I need to take Obi-Wan's lightsaber out of its place and then reinstall it before I deal with his cape. And that is possible. So we'll set his lightsaber aside. I just wanted my old friends to have some new duds. This is not about fooling anybody. This is about these are some of my oldest friends. They've earned this. And let me get his lightsaber back into place very gently. And extend that part first. Alright, and Obi-Wan is once again ready to do battle, fully dressed. So, my old friends are once again ready to do battle here. Now, I did, in the blink of an eye, in the space of an edit, go and get the rest of the characters off the shelf, off the vintage shelf, that I have new duds for. And, who needs his cape more than Lando Calrissian? So let us prepare by putting the fold in it ahead of time. Getting his arms out behind him. And again, still, even though these are new, I can see where these could be easily damaged if I did them like I did the originals on these guys and gals. So I don't want to do that. I want these to kind of maintain the minty freshness that some slightly more careful handling would have preserved. So here we have Lando telling Vader that this deal is getting worse all the time. But this deal, this was not bad. The pricing on all of these, let me put it this way, I have no complaints whatsoever. Going to get my Tusken Raider here. The Echo Base Vintage also has replacement weapons. I did not invest in any this time around, but considering the quality of their, I kind of wanted to see how these turned out first. I think I may be back in their Etsy store as budget allows, because a lot of my stormtroopers and other characters are unarmed, and there are other, there are other, shall we say, vintage Star Wars weapons suppliers for the action figures, not for you or me, but for the figures, on Etsy. So here we have the Tusken Raider back in shape. Now, the Snowtrooper, you see he's got this little clip kind of along his belt line. That is where the skirt attaches. It'll be interesting to see how well this goes on and how well it stays on. The one side went on very easily, and we're done. We're done. All he needs now is his weapon, and the Snowtrooper is ready to do dirty deeds again. This is cool. This is cool. I'm really warming to the idea of, perhaps spending more of my meager toy budget on restoring some of my oldest friends to fighting shape. Rather than loading the shelves down with new ones, which I will be honest, I'm running out of shelf space. These are, I know a lot of people look back here and say, cool. I look over here at the other shelf, which is behind the camera, and, I look at these dear old things that I played with endlessly as a kid. And, I look at these and I say, oh, cool. And really, I mean, there's nothing wrong with either one. Both collections are, I'm very happy and very fortunate to have them. But, my heart really lies with the original Kenner figures, and having them somewhat closer to their original condition, that is a thing that makes me happy. Thanks for watching.